Everyone, my name is Scott. Thanks for tuning in to the show. I got 3 more movies and still have a green shirt on. Let's talk about it. But not about the green shirt. Let's talk about the movies. I rewatched The Nightmare Before Christmas, a movie I haven't seen in probably 10 years. I own it on VHS. I never bought it on DVD. I watched it on Disney Plus this time around. Part of me wanted to see if Disney had censored anything inside of it because it's a pretty grim film. They released it originally under the Touchstone banner, but from what I can remember, the movie goes untouched on Disney Plus. They did put the Disney logo before it. It does not have the Touchstone logo as the Disney Pictures logo before it, but other than that, the movie is as you remember. And this is one of those movies that became an instant classic. It has memorable songs, the stop motion animation is amazing. I remember seeing some of the figures at Disney way back in time, and I was surprised by how tall they are. They're relatively large, and I guess they have to be to get the amount of detail they needed in the faces. But it still looks great to this day, and the shot of Jack standing on the curly-Q ledge with the moon behind him is iconic. To this day, I'm still not a huge fan of the Oogie Boogie sequence. It kind of sits out on a ledge for me as being unnecessary in the film's plot. But this is an iconic movie. It's one of those movies that's going to be around and has entered the zeitgeist. And it's great. I have some things that I don't like about it, but it's still one of those movies that I acknowledge is popular for a reason. Spent a lot of time with Disney Plus apparently this episode. I watched the original Aladdin. It's not my favorite Disney animated film. I'm surprised by how much Robin Williams' performance as Genie is the movie's best attribute and also its biggest downfall. All the pop cultural references he made as Genie were dated then, they're even more dated now. Jafar is a great Disney villain, and there's a lot of really dark, creepy sequences with him. And while the music is standout, and the film has stayed around as long as it had for a reason, it is ripe for updating. Cue the music. Aladdin was directed by Guy Ritchie? Is that right? Guy Ritchie. Directed by Guy Ritchie and stars Will Smith as Genie taking over Robin Williams' role. As the movie began, I was somewhat nervous. Somewhat nervous because of Will Smith, but somewhat nervous because the film begins with an entire different plot structure than the original animation. In the original animation, we establish Aladdin, we establish Jasmine, they meet, they go apart, they come back. In this one, Jasmine and Aladdin meet almost immediately and escape together and then go apart and then come back. But I like the way it was structured. Sure, you don't get to meet them individually and learn them individually at first, but you see the chemistry first before they go off and you learn more about them and realize why they need to be together. So I kind of liked how they rendered that in this version. The actor that plays Jafar, I don't feel was menacing enough. That character in the original animation is so over-the-top menacing. This actor plays a little quieter, a lot quieter, and I don't think it quite works until the film's later stages. And I like that they didn't really mess with the song structure of the songs. The songs of the original Aladdin are the things that stand out to me as being iconic. Not necessarily the cartoon as a whole, but the songs, the minute they hit my ears, I remembered every word. And they didn't mess with that too much in this version. I was nervous about Will Smith, but I was kind of set at ease. Will Smith kind of kills it. He doesn't try to be Robin Williams. No one could be Robin Williams. Who he is Will Smith as a genie. And while it's a change of pace, it totally works. And in the first act, this movie has a great Bollywood flair to it. The big sequences are big Bollywood type sequences. And it worked for me. I really enjoyed it. Where this movie kind of flounders is its second act. In the original animation, Aladdin asks Genie to make him a prince, and he does. But Aladdin spends his time terrified that Jasmine will find out that he is not a prince, that he is the street rat she met. In this version, Aladdin is terrified not that he's going to be found out, but that he doesn't feel like a prince. He looks like a prince outwardly, but is obviously nervous. He has no confidence of being a prince. And that leads him to flounder a lot in front of Jasmine, and I don't think it works all that well. At least for the amount of screen time that it takes up. This is a long film, and it feels long in its second act because our hero is now somewhat of a weakling. But the film regains its traction in its third act. It gives Will Smith's Genie something to do that's not just an Aladdin storyline. He gets a storyline of his own. And that storyline actually garners the biggest laugh of the movie for me. And it's also a clever screenplay trick which bookends the movie. I enjoyed this more than I thought I was going to. It's way better than the Lion King adaptation. I think this movie is more rewatchable than I thought it would be going into it. I would see this movie again. Have you seen any of these movies? I will see you in comments, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching.